The Williams family Sunday brunch was a sacred tradition held at the elegant Riverside Country Club. 4 generations gathered around the large circular table overlooking the golf course, sharing mimosas and catching up on each other's lives. I sat between my husband Daniel and his teenage niece, picking at my eggs Benedict while his sister Monica held court from across the table. Daniel's promotion is such wonderful news, their mother Patricia said proudly. Senior partner before 40, just like his father. Murmurs of approval circled the table. Daniel squeezed my hand under the white tablecloth, and I smiled at him encouragingly. It's about time the firm recognized his talent, Monica declared, raising her champagne flute. Some people just have that natural drive for success. Uncle Robert nodded approvingly. The Williams family has always bred achievers. Speaking of achievers, Monica continued, her voice taking on a sharper edge, I ran into your ex-girlfriend Jessica at the art gallery opening last week, Daniel. An uncomfortable silence settled over the table. Daniel shifted in his seat beside me. That's nice, he said diplomatically. She just got promoted to creative director at that prestigious advertising agency downtown, Monica continued. Corner office, 6-figure salary, managing a team of 20 designers. Patricia beamed. How wonderful for her. Jessica always was so driven. Unlike some people, Monica added with a pointed glance in my direction, she had actual ambition. I continued eating my brunch, having learned to ignore Monica's passive-aggressive comments over the past 3 years of marriage. My brother married someone completely useless, Monica announced suddenly, her voice cutting through the polite conversation. The family nodded approvingly, as if she'd made a perfectly reasonable observation. Aunt Linda made a sympathetic clucking sound. Monica, Daniel said uncomfortably, that's not fair. Oh please, Daniel. We're all adults here. Monica gestured dismissively. Unlike his ex who had actual ambition, some people are just content to exist. Teenage niece Emma looked between Monica and me with obvious discomfort. Aunt Monica, that's kind of harsh. It's honest, sweetie, Monica replied patronizingly. In the real world, people need to contribute something meaningful to society. Uncle Robert leaned forward with interest. What is it you do for work, Sarah? Before I could answer, Monica laughed sharply. She doesn't work, Uncle Robert. I don't know what she does all day, honestly. I'm sure she keeps busy, Patricia said diplomatically, though her tone suggested she agreed with Monica's assessment. Busy with what, exactly? Monica pressed. Shopping? Yoga classes? Book clubs? Meanwhile, Jessica is building an actual career, creating real value in the world. I excused myself from the table with a polite smile. I need to make a quick phone call. I walked toward the ladies' room but stopped in the quiet hallway and pulled out my phone. I scrolled through my contacts until I found the number I needed. Radiant Salon Group, this is Marcus speaking. Hi Marcus, this is Sarah from Bellamy Holdings. I need you to temporarily close the downtown location today. The flagship location? Is everything all right, Ms. Bellamy? Just a strategic business decision. Close it for the afternoon and cancel all appointments. Cite unexpected maintenance issues. That's going to displace about 40 clients today, including several VIPs. I understand. Please handle it professionally and offer them appointments at our other locations. Of course. I'll start making calls immediately. I hung up and returned to the table, where Monica was still regaling the family with stories about Jessica's professional accomplishments. And she just bought that gorgeous loft in the Arts District, Monica was saying. Self-made success is so inspiring. It really is, Patricia agreed. There's something so admirable about a woman who builds her own life. I slipped back into my seat just as Monica's phone started buzzing on the table. She glanced at it with annoyance. Work call during brunch? Daniel asked. It's Radiant Salon, Monica said, looking puzzled. That's where I get my hair done every week. She answered the call on speaker. Hello. Ms. Williams, this is Marcus from Radiance Downtown. I'm calling to inform you that we need to cancel your appointment today due to unexpected maintenance issues. Monica frowned. Maintenance? What kind of maintenance? I'm not able to provide specific details, but the location will be closed for the remainder of the day. I can reschedule you at our West Side or North Park locations if you'd prefer. This is incredibly inconvenient, Monica huffed. I have a charity gala tonight. My hair absolutely has to be perfect. I sincerely apologize for the short notice, Ms. Williams. This decision came directly from corporate management. Monica hung up looking frustrated. How unprofessional. I've been going to that salon for 5 years. Patricia made a sympathetic sound. These service businesses can be so unreliable. It's not like they're a mom-and-pop shop, Monica complained. Radiance is a whole chain. You'd think they'd have their act together. I pulled out my phone and pretended to check messages while actually opening my business management app. With a few taps, I could see the real-time status of all 12 Radiance locations. That's strange about the maintenance, I said casually. Radiance is usually very well managed. Monica looked surprised that I'd commented. You know about Radiance? I'm familiar with their operations, yes. How would you know anything about salon management? Monica asked with obvious skepticism. I smiled and showed her my phone screen, which displayed the Radiance corporate dashboard. Because I own them. The table went completely silent. Patricia's mimosa glass froze halfway to her lips. You what? Monica whispered. Radiance Salon Group. I acquired the chain 2 years ago through my holding company. I scrolled through the app, showing the locations and revenue streams. 12 locations, 230 employees, about $8 million in annual revenue. Uncle Robert was staring at my phone in shock. You own a salon chain? Among other things, yes. Bellamy Holdings has interests in several service industry businesses. Monica's face had gone completely white. That's impossible. You can't. Can't what? I asked gently. You don't work. You don't have a career. You're just. Just what, Monica? She opened and closed her mouth several times before finding her voice. Useless. You're completely useless. Daniel finally spoke up, his voice firm. Monica, that's enough. No, I want to understand, I said calmly. What makes someone useless, in your opinion? Not contributing anything meaningful to society, Monica stammered. Not building anything real or valuable. I nodded thoughtfully. So owning a business that employs over 200 people doesn't count as contributing to society. But you never said you owned businesses, Patricia protested. You never asked what I did for work, I pointed out. You just assumed I didn't work. Emma, the teenage niece, was looking at my phone with wide eyes. Aunt Sarah, this is so cool. How many businesses do you own? Bellamy Holdings has stakes in 15 different companies, I explained. Salons, restaurants, retail stores, a small tech startup. Uncle Robert leaned forward with sudden interest. Luxury boutiques mostly. We also own 3 spas and a catering company. Monica was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. This doesn't make sense. You never talk about work. You never mentioned owning anything. Because every time I try to discuss my day, you interrupt to tell me about Jessica's latest promotion, I said simply. The truth of that statement hung in the air. Monica's mouth opened and closed silently. How long have you been building this portfolio? Patricia asked, her tone now respectful. About 6 years. I started with one boutique and gradually expanded. 6 years, Daniel repeated proudly. She's been building this empire since before we even got married. Monica finally found her voice. Why didn't you ever tell us? Tell you what? That I had ambition? That I was building something meaningful? I paused meaningfully. Would it have changed how you treated me? The question clearly made everyone uncomfortable. Emma was the first to speak. Aunt Sarah, that's actually really inspiring. I want to start my own business someday too. That's wonderful, Emma. What kind of business interests you? As Emma and I discussed entrepreneurship, I noticed the adults at the table whispering among themselves. Monica looked mortified, Patricia seemed impressed, and Uncle Robert was clearly recalculating his entire opinion of me. Sarah, Patricia said during a lull in conversation, I owe you an apology. We've been terribly unfair in our assumptions. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Monica was still processing the revelation. The salon closure today, that was because of what I said. Partly. Though I was also testing their crisis management protocols. It's important to know how well your businesses handle unexpected disruptions. So my appointment was cancelled because the owner decided to see how effectively the staff could handle last-minute changes, I said diplomatically. Monica looked stricken. I called you useless, and you literally control whether I can get my hair done. I control whether that particular location is open, I corrected. There are 11 other Radiant salons you could visit. But the downtown location is the best one. That's where all the VIPs go. I smiled and reopened my app. Marcus, this is Sarah. You can reopen the downtown location. The maintenance issue has been resolved. Within minutes, Monica's phone was ringing with a call back from the salon, apologizing for the inconvenience and confirming our original appointment time. During the drive home, Daniel was unusually quiet. What are you thinking about? I asked. How many times Monica has called you useless over the years, and I never defended you properly. You defended me today. Too little, too late. I should have shut that down years ago. I reached over and squeezed his hand. Daniel, I didn't need you to fight my battles. I just needed you to believe in what I was building. Did I? Believe in it, I mean. I considered the question carefully. You never questioned my long hours or business trips. You celebrated when deals went well. That support meant everything to me. Even when my family was calling you useless. Especially then. Because you knew better. The next week, Monica sent me a formal apology along with a request to discuss potential business partnerships. Patricia asked for a tour of my operations. And Emma scheduled a meeting to discuss her own entrepreneurial plans. Sometimes the best response to being called useless is simply demonstrating how useful you actually are, especially when you control the services they rely on.